The stranger on the old bridge. It was a cold autumn evening when Daniel walked alone through the quiet outskirts of the town. The sky had lost its color, leaving only a dim orange glow fading behind the hills. Dry leaves rattled across the ground as the wind whispered through the trees. Daniel felt tired of trying, tired of failing, tired of pretending everything was fine. But for months, nothing in his life had gone right. His business had collapsed, his savings were gone, and people he once trusted had slowly drifted away. He wasn't walking with a purpose that evening. He was simply walking to escape his thoughts. Eventually, his steps brought him to an old wooden bridge. It was the kind of place people rarely visited anymore, weathered, creaking, forgotten. Daniel stood at the edge, staring down at the dark water below. His voice cracked as he whispered to himself, "Why does everything feel so empty?" Before he could sink deeper into his thoughts, he heard footsteps, soft, steady, approaching from behind. Daniel turned to see an old man walking toward him. The man wore a faded coat, carried a wooden cane, and had a gentle, peaceful look in his eyes. He walked up to Daniel, stopped beside him, and gazed at the water. "Beautiful place, isn't it?" the old man said. Daniel shrugged. "I haven't noticed." The old man tapped the wooden planks with his cane. "You know, people used to cross this bridge every single day. Lovers, workers, travelers, everyone. And even when the bridge grew old and weak, it still held the weight of every person who stepped on it." Daniel frowned slightly. "Why are you telling me this?" The stranger smiled softly. "Because you're like this bridge." Daniel blinked, confused. The old man continued, "You think you're worn out because life has pushed you down again and again. But even now, you're still standing. You've carried more weight than most people ever know, and yet you haven't fallen." Those words hit Daniel harder than he expected. He looked away, trying to hide the tears forming in his eyes. "The storms don't break the strong ones, Daniel," the old man said. "They shape them." Daniel froze. He had never told the stranger his name. How do you know who I am?" The old man chuckled softly. "Names aren't hard to know, hearts are." They stood in silence for a moment, listening to the soft flow of the river below. Finally, Daniel asked, "Why are you here? Why talk to me like you know me?" The old man leaned on the railing and spoke gently. "Many years ago, I stood right where you're standing now, lost, hopeless, ready to give up. And someone came to me. Someone who told me that even broken things have a purpose, even broken hearts. He helped me. Now I help others." Daniel swallowed hard. "So you're here to help me?" The stranger smiled. "Something like that." For the first time in a long while, Daniel felt a tiny spark of warmth inside him. The old man placed a hand on Daniel's shoulder and said quietly, "You will rise again. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but the world hasn't seen the best of you yet." Daniel felt tears fall freely now. "Why are you helping me?" he whispered. The old man looked up at the sky. "Because someone once helped me, and kindness. Kindness is a bridge too, one that must never stop being built. A cold wind moved across the bridge, shaking the old planks. Daniel wiped his tears and turned to thank the man, but the stranger was gone. No footsteps, no fading silhouette, just gone. Daniel stepped forward, shocked. He looked around, but the path was empty. It was impossible. He would have seen the man walking away. It was as if the stranger had vanished into thin air. Daniel stared at the place where the old man had stood moments ago, and then, slowly, a small smile appeared on his face. For the first time in months, he felt understood. He felt lighter. He felt hope. He whispered softly, "Thank you." Whoever you were, the night air no longer felt heavy. The darkness no longer frightened him. Something inside him had awakened. Daniel walked back across the old wooden bridge not as a broken man, but as someone who finally believed he could stand again and rise again. And sometimes that's all we need, one unexpected voice. One gentle reminder, one stranger on an old bridge to bring us back to life.